Alright guys, hello, welcome to the video. As you can see, we're going to be playing the BOURRASQUE today, and this is how I pronounce this vehicle, by the way. I don't know if there's a specific way to pronounce this vehicle, even if you're American, if there's a more like traditional way to pronounce this vehicle, because I've heard Steel Guts call it the BOURRASQUE. I say BOURRASQUE. I'm sure in France they have a very particular way of saying this vehicle. Keep in mind that I am from America. I was born and raised in the States, guys. I am 100% European, actually, but born and raised in the States. I'm American. So if my pronunciations are not okay with you, just, you know, understand that I'm not from Europe. So I don't have the very specific ways of saying these vehicles, right? That being said, the Boris, guys, is a very interesting vehicle. I really, really like this thing. The only thing is, you have to understand that this thing is still made to be played like a medium, right? And when I say that, I don't mean that you can't play it as a light. If you get on proc in certain maps, people do it. You run the CVS, you run the optics, you run the bounty low noise exhaust, whatever. But the dispersion and the aiming time is actually really bad on this thing, right? And you don't really have DPM. You kind of have decent DPM considering that this is a 2-shell autoloader, 2-shell magazine, 2-round clip, like, you know, whatever they call it. I call it a magazine, but if it's called a clip or whatever the heck they call it in this game. But right, you have the two rounds. So it says here, you average 360 damage a shot. If you do load HE, that's 440, but it's very unlikely that you're going to load HE unless you're specifically going against a vehicle where you know you can pen, right? And it says shells in the magazine, so I guess they call it a magazine. 2 shells in the magazine, 2 seconds for the time between your shots, and 22 seconds total, right? So this is very powerful. It means within about 2 seconds, basically, 3 seconds, because it takes you a second to shoot that first shot, you can be doing 720 damage, right? And that's very powerful, but keep in mind that if you miss one shot, right, or if you low roll, you do not have the ability to then have another shot ready because you have to wait 20 seconds, right? And so this is where I bit off more than I could chew when I first started playing this vehicle. The first few battles, I was trying to rush people, realizing, okay, I missed a shot, or I just low rolled. Like I tried to go after a Lova, and he had like 680 HP or whatever it was, and I low rolled both shots, and he ended up with like 4 HP or whatever the heck it was, and I'm like, I'm screwed. I don't know what to do now, so I had to try and run around him, and then I put myself in the line of fire of other people, other enemies, and I ended up dying. So this thing is like, it's weird like that, right? Like it's a very, very powerful tank that if you play it properly and you stay alive at the end of games, this thing is ridiculous because not only do you have really good concealment and good mobility, I wouldn't even say really good because it's not like it's a light tank, right? You actually have 10% less camo on the move, but we're going to say good camo, good mobility, right? Good view range. I'm not even running optics, and we have 451 view range, right? But you can also do a tremendous amount of burst damage. And like this thing is basically like the Batchat 12T on crack, right? Because what you're essentially doing is, even though the Batchat 12T has 4 shells, right? It takes a lot longer to dish out all that damage because the shells don't do as much damage, right? So with the and by the way, they're the same body style, right? They're literally the exact same body. So keep in mind that if you do face a BOURRASQUE, use HE because they don't have any armor, right? But it's the exact same tank. It's just you have this gigantic gun on it, right? And the burst damage is insane. And if you really place your shots well, then it will pay off, right? Now, all this being said, I do not have the we can increase this, but I do have to use a little bit of free experience. I don't have my 3rd loadout yet. So I'm going to play this session without the 3rd loadout. I'm sorry, 2nd loadout. I was looking at this, and I was looking at this and knowing that I need to get level 3, I believe, to get the 2nd loadout, right? But I don't have that yet, right? So we're going to be playing it with vents. We're going to be playing it with improved aiming class 1 and VSTAP and standard equipment. right, guys? Just standard equipment. And then my crew over here, full brothers in arms. We have full concealment, snapshot, smooth ride, situational awareness, recon, 50% intuition, and I do have these things on it, Deadeye, and also controlled impact. I pulled this crew off of the Char Model 75. I think it's Charlemagne or whatever, the other French Tier 9 light tank that they came out with in loot boxes. I think it was like 2 years ago. So that's where this crew comes from, and that's what we have, so I just kind of retrained them. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have necessarily gone like controlled impact. Deadeye is fine, but I probably would have went like intuition instead of controlled impact, because like you're not going to be ramming people in the BOURRASQUE. The Model 75 was a little bit different. You can actually kind of ram people because it was really fast, and I'll also did that a little bit. But I think I said everything I wanted to say, guys. Again, this thing has 40 hull armor, which actually, yeah, it is exactly the same as the Batchat. I thought the Batchat actually didn't even have this much. The turret armor is 25 all around, and on this vehicle, it's actually 15, 10, and 10. So you have actually less armor than you do on the Batchat 12T, which is wild. But again, guys, I have to emphasize, you still have to kind of play this thing like a medium. You don't want to bite off more than you can chew and play it like a light tank from the get-go, unless there's no light tanks, you know? Like, I found that I was trying to play it too much like a light tank, and I was just getting spotted in areas where I didn't think I was necessarily going to get spotted, because the moving concealment is a lot lower, right? And just other, like, you know, things where I might not have necessarily the proper camo. But even then, I was going to say also, this thing, it's like the turning radius, right? And the acceleration still isn't that of like the Batchat 12T, in my opinion. We'll take a look, but like maybe I'm just playing the T100 LT way too much. But let's see, the traverse speed is almost 49, top speed 70, specific power 31. And if you go to this one, it's let's see, 62 top speed, slightly less traverse speed, less specific power. So I am right. But it doesn't mean it's slow, right? I'm just saying, like, you kind of have to understand that this thing it's heavier than its, you know, sister or brother, whatever you want to call this, the Batchat 12T. So I think I said everything I wanted to say. I was trying to keep this intro as short as possible, but I knew it was going to be very long. I should have warned you guys from the get-go. But we're going to be playing this thing, and again, standard equipment, and let's get into the battles, guys. But the first, again, like 5, 6, 7, maybe even 8 battles that I played in this vehicle, I didn't do well. I really didn't do well because I just didn't understand the vehicle yet. And I still don't think I understand the vehicle very well, but we're going to give it our best shot. I've played 17 battles now, and so I like to think that we will be okay here, right? I like to think we'll be okay. It's just, again, like, you have to understand what this tank can do and what it can't do, and you really, really kind of need to have support with you, at least when there's an opportunity to like push into the enemy team. Like I said, you have 2 shells and a 20-second reload, right? So like you have to really know how to manage that, and I think I was just trying to do too much. I kind of understand that autoloaders have a specific way of being played, but you have to know like what it can't do, right? You really have to know what it can't do, because you'll end up getting yourself into trouble because the tank is so fast. You think you can just dive in and dive out, and but you have no armor, right? So you have to be really careful about this. So I'm going to sit right here. I think this is a good area to sit. And again, the aiming time is really long, so I like to like pre-aim. I was going to start pre-aiming actually over here. We have the even coming, so let's see if we can hit this guy. Okay, I'm going to hit him once, and I'm going to come down. You actually light him on fire, and now I'm going to reload. And this is a thing with this tank, is you also have to choose when you're going to reload, right? And LT should be able to clean this guy up. That's great. We lit the dude on fire, so that's also great. But now it's like I could have a shot at the T28 prototype. I don't, right? But I'm lit when I took the shot anyway. So, you know, it's like there's just a lot going on with this vehicle that you have to be able to manage and understand to be very good at it. And I think if you're a really, really good player, you will be very good in this vehicle. But people that maybe don't understand like how to manage the autoloader, how to manage not having any armor and stuff like that, you have to be very tactical, right? Is what I want to say with this vehicle, right? So I'm gonna hit this guy once, I'm gonna hit him twice, and as I'm hitting him, I'm already coming back down, right? So rather than sit there and wait to get hit, right? You want to be quick enough where you can take those 2 shots and get back before someone hits you, is able to aim and hit you, right? Let's see if we can maybe hit this BZ. No. BOURRASQUE is coming up here. He's going to stop. Waiting to see this Progetto here. And even everything I tell you guys, I'm also not an expert, right? Just keep that in mind. I'm not a Unicum, even with light tanks. So if this information doesn't help you and you're already a better player than me, you don't want to be watching my channel. You can if you're entertained, but like some people that are really good players actually watch my channel, but like most of the point of my channel is to kind of help out average players, right? So my Chipotle got here really fast, so I'm gonna have to, after this game, I'm gonna have to leave for 10 seconds, but you guys can skip ahead. You know I don't like to cut my videos, so if I really wanted to be a professional YouTuber, I would cut my videos and edit my videos, but again, just for mild entertainment and to help out the average players, right? So this BZ taking control of this area is a really big problem, man. He's a really good player too, so. It's very likely that very soon this Basante is going to get pressed, and then we're going to have no one here. I'm going to get 2 shots off, and then I'm going to run. Okay, there's one. I'm going to reload now. Come all the way down. I'm actually going to act like I'm running away. And then I'm going to turn around. And I wasn't actually looking at the map. We put a lot of pressure over here, and we're doing really well in terms of HP and numbers. So we should be completely fine here, actually. But my prediction was these guys were going to press the Basante, and we were going to run into a problem. But it looks like we are A-okay. Okay, BOURRASQUE is running away. See how long it takes to load, I'm sorry, aim with this thing? Okay, and I'm going to go now. I'm not spotted from that shot, which is good information, and we're going to go help the Basante now. So we got one into the BOURRASQUE. And the way I want to approach this, so I'm kind of going to slide in like this. Because again, you don't want to YOLO people, right? YOLOing is not a good idea in this vehicle. I don't think anyone's here. I think they started leaving. So now we can kind of push in. But again, you have such a long reload, right? You have to understand how to manage it. So I think we played this pretty well. I'm expecting to see Progetto right here. Okay, G-Sor. I'm just going to take my time to shoot those shots. He's not moving. He's not running away from me, right? And now, okay, S1 is also here. I'm going to come all the way to this corner and force this guy to either come after me or, you know, do something, right? So now people can get shots into him. So I'm going to come all the way here. He's going to come this way. I'm going to turn. I'm going to come this way and just kind of play around with this guy. All right, I don't know where the Progetto went. Good, beautiful. Ping. Ping 416. Okay, he's right here, I think. Oh, he's here. Beautiful. Let's jump off this. Okay. So I think we played that pretty well. We did 27, 23 damage, 259 assists. We had 3 kills, right? And I think this is the proper way to play this vehicle, you know. I was doing a little too much. And like, had I started this session when we were brand new to this tank, I probably would have been way out in the trees trying to be fancy with the you know, game mechanics and stuff like that. I just don't think you want to play it like that. You don't want to be you don't want to take big risks in this vehicle, because if you can stay alive to the end of the game, like, you are a big threat. You are a massive threat, right? Because you have a gun and you have concealment and view range and mobility. Like, you have everything you need to carry a game. And after that game, our average damage went up a little bit. I was going to tell you guys, like, I'm only averaging, like, I was like 1,800 something, averaging 1,800 something damage. Because I just didn't have a lot of good games, man, honestly. And it was me. It wasn't necessarily the matchmaking. I had some really bad teammates, but I was just trying to do too much with it at first, I think. So, my Chipotle. Hang on. I will have time, guys. Hold on. Okay. So on a map like this, if I had a scouting setup, I would be using the scouting setup. Another thing I will note with the map Westfield very specifically is that I do not like to rush the K0 area, because I did it once in this thing and I got absolutely demolished because my teammates didn't push it, right? And so, like, again, you want to kind of figure out where you need to be support and where you need to be like, okay, we can push into this guy now, right? And I can maybe lead the charge. But again, you have no armor. So just always remember that. You have no armor. And you have a 20-second reload after you fire 2 shells. So, I'm gonna let this guy go. If it's just the even, I might push it. I might. Okay, here comes the Astron. Okay, I was a little too... I led him a little bit too much on the second shot, but it's okay. And we have a BOURRASQUE and a G-SOAR back there. Luckily, we kind of bounced the G-SOAR. I didn't think I'd actually be spotted taking that first shot because I took it through the trees, but I think it was like one of these guys that spotted me, or it was even, or whatever happened there. Here we go. I'm just going to take this one shot. Progetto's hitting me here. Wild. I think that was actually a blind shot that he shot there. Or he was just waiting for me, right? His cursor was like right here on top of me. That's very possible as well. Okay, I'm going to go on reload right now. And I like to also throw out an F8 when I'm reloading, just so like the Progetto knows, like, dude, I can't help you right now, so hold on for a minute. And this is also another good way, I think, to play the BOURRASQUE, right? Like, what these guys are doing is fine. I just don't like taking risks like this unless I'm playing a light tank, where I know I have the maximum amount of camo and mobility, right? But this team's doing great. ISM in the mid with all shots. Okay. Lit here, interesting. I guess even? Are we lighting this? We do have shots in the Progetto. I'm going to risk it. RHM as well. Okay, they're kind of both running away though. Understandable. ISM actually, we have a shot. Okay, I'm going to reload now and start pushing in with this other BOURRASQUE and WZ and stuff. Because we need to do damage. We only have 2 shots right now, so... So at this point, I'm just going to go in and hopefully hit 2 shots on the RHM or something. Give the team some info here as well. Okay, just run right past the RHM. It's fine. Progetto clips me out. It's whatever. Just gonna push into this guy. Okay. Yep. B's head coming all the way down. Look at that. Ridiculous. Let's go after this Artie. Okay. And that's the game, guys. So 4-minute game. We did 1398 damage, 486 assist. I think we could have been a tiny bit more aggressive here, maybe a little earlier on, but Progetto is like clipping me out, and like I just don't care, right? Because it's the very end of the game, so. Okay, very good. Let's get into a third one. And yeah, even still playing it like this, we have a 9100 WTR. So I don't think this vehicle is actually that hard to play, even for average players. It's just you have to stay alive. Like the longer you stay alive in a vehicle like this, the better you're going to do by a landslide, right? Because even just 2 shots that you hit on one clip is 700 plus damage. And like if you get that, if you only hit 3 full clips and do like all that damage, right? You're talking like 2300 something damage. You know, if they're all those shots are full damage shots and not kills. You know what I mean? So like you have to just stay alive in this vehicle. Really. And honestly, like don't be afraid to load the APCRs. I don't think we've even loaded the the gold APCRs. So I think this area right here is decent for this tank, but I just feel like this is kind of risky. I don't like coming here because a lot of times what happens to me is I sit here and then people poke this and they poke this, and like my teammates aren't paying attention up here and I end up getting slaughtered here. So I don't go over there anymore. But if you platoon with people, you know, you can definitely make that work better. This is also why I don't like platooning necessarily, because when you platoon, I feel like when you make content, it just makes the game much easier if you platoon with people that really know what they're doing, you know? And so for helping out casual players that probably maybe don't play with people, I kind of prefer to just at least do all my sessions and recordings, with the exception of platooning with my dad, by myself. I play them in randoms where I don't know anybody, really. I mean, I might recognize someone, but I'm not specifically playing with another person. Platoon, here we go. Get the Leo over here. I could help. Okay. Another thing I really, really hate about playing in an area like this is like, you go to help one side of the map, right? Ricochet on the TVP, unbelievable. And then the other side of the map, it gets pressed, right? So like if I just stayed to help the 1357, I could have gotten 2 shots there. Not that it would have saved his life, but it's like I go to take a look at a shot on the Leo, and then the Pershing and AMX press. So it's just like a timing thing, but I hate that. It's one of my biggest pet peeves with playing a position, like a peekaboo position like this. Not really paying attention to the map like at all. We have easy shots on this guy. Okay. So take my time with those shots. Yeah, my situational awareness in this game could easily be 10 times better. Okay. I'll put this shot right where the TVP was. I know everyone's blind firing it though, so he probably pulled back. Okay, I'm going to reload and start pushing in with the type. Because we have had really good teams. Luckily, we've been on the winning side every time so far. And so we can definitely make this work. see, where is this guy? Just gonna keep going. Let's see if we can kind of like get creative here. If there are anybody, is anybody still here? STRV is the only one that's unlit. Other than Marty. Okay, I think he left. If he was here, and he's in the back. Okay. So now we can be right here. Where'd this TVP go, though? Can like complete. I can basically choose who I want to take shots at right now. Okay. Let's kind of start pushing into this TVP. Okay, and the patent. We're not gonna have a shot. Okay. I think that was bad. 1673 damage, 599 assist. I mean, my situational awareness, but just because I'm filming the video, our situational awareness could have been 10 times better. At the beginning of this game, I think we definitely could have had a couple more shots, but is what it is. We'll play one more. These games have not been the greatest examples of this tank for this tank because they've been slaughters, pretty much all three of them. I mean, I've seen worse games, but these are very one-sided matches, and so I don't think it's the greatest example of how you can play this vehicle, but again, on a map like this, I would most certainly be running probably a scouting setup, even though we do have LTTB, another BOURRASQUE, and you know, there's a light tank, but I'm actually going to go to where I usually will go in a light. We're going to play this little village here just at first, and then I probably am going to switch over, and just like I do in my light tanks, cover the east side. But LTTB looks like a really good player, and so he'll probably know how to spot this. I'm just going to poke up like this. I'll knock this tree. I'm just going to sit right here for now. Yeah, he goes exactly where I go. Also a really good player, and the last time I made that play, people were like insulting me. So, isn't that wild? See how much? See all the people you spot. Now, I don't necessarily have shots, but I think this is still very informative, right? To give the team this information so they know who's here, and it helps East because they go, okay, look, you know, STB1 is over there, or whatever. Minotauro's over there. AMX is over there, so you know. And then you spot these people. And if I was a good like TD player, I probably would have had a shot here, but so I think it's a great play, but I was assaulted in the chat for making the play that LTTB made last time. Because I didn't counter this, right? And now he's doing exactly what I would do, and he's trying to support. Well, it looks like he's actually going to go mid now. Doesn't really need to support this because it's completely fine right now. I mean, we're heavily assaulting the east side of this map. There's obsidian. One other thing I've noticed about this tank is because the accuracy is actually so bad, but the caliber gun is really high. like it's a very high caliber, you track people a lot, and you'll get tracking assist from it. It's like you'll be aiming at the middle of the tank, and the shell will veer off and hit the track, but you still get some decent assist from it, because if you track people and other people are shooting, you know, you get the track assist. Track them in there again, and we get the track assist. So there's a good example. I'm going to join this guy, start pushing in. We have absolutely assaulted this team. I mean, I don't know, man. I might go play the lottery today, because normally I would argue 75% of the time I'm on the other team, right? And we've been on the winning side every single game so far, which is just ridiculous. Just waiting for some easy shots here if we can get them. Okay. I'm gonna start coming this way. I wish this M60 would kind of just push into the 122 TM and take the shot, so we know that we're good on this side. Okay, I'm just going to push into this guy out. Okay, good. Fantastic. Spot the bat shot. Someone must have blind fired him. Okay, good. That's it, 918 damage, 322 assist. Maybe we should have just went to the city instead. I think if we went to the city and tried to get shots on like the minnow and defender, you know, kind of poke around all the corners there and stuff like that, that would have been better. But this is what I chose, and this is the way we went, and it is what it is, man. I mean, we're just slaughtering enemy teams today. So we're going to try and play one more after this, I think. And then I have to eat. My meal is going to get cold, so there you go. I mean, this is probably one of the not so good games, but it's like, what can you do, man? We've been stomping all the enemy teams. There's just not enough red tanks to shoot at. But I think there we definitely should have went city. Probably should have changed my route a little bit and just went city instead, but I kind of wanted to support the LTTB. Good. Yeah, he was a really good player though, man. This guy, just build a tax collector, 10k WTR. He's got almost a 60% win rate, and plays a lot of different tanks here. But let's just see. Okay, SP1C, he did 3 mark this. And yeah, this guy's really good, man. Really, really good. I always like seeing really good players playing light tanks, as I would play light tanks, because it makes me feel better about myself. When someone insults my play, and then I see a player that's even better than I am by WTR making the exact same plays that I make, and I'm like, all right, well, that's fair, you know. Okay. I wanted to try something on this map, but I don't think I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to do it. You know, I'm going to try it. Let's see if it works. I know of this position that Ayuxin uses a lot, and it's worked for me in the past, but I feel like it's very easy to get pressed there. It's like right in this area here, you go out through this one little lake, There's like these couple, more like a pond or whatever you want to call it, I guess. And you go in between, and there's bushes out here. So let's see if it works. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It's risky. You guys know how I feel about risky plays. Iron Arnie's coming out here. I might just stay here. I'm assuming this Arnie's probably okay. Hopefully that keeps him away. Let's see what he does. I'm going to take this opportunity now to come into the middle. Beautiful. We made it. I try not to knock these trees because it kind of gives away your position. So this is what we're looking for right here. Okay, Turtle just was able to get a shot into me there. It's fine. Now we kind of get safe. Okay, come like this. Callie really wants me. Really, really wants it. Really, really wants it. Help. I don't know what you really want me to do, man. No. You see what we're doing here, though, guys? We're being very disruptive. I don't care what my statistics say at the end of this battle. We are being so disruptive here right now. Like, we've taken a Caliban out of the game. This is a very, very powerful enemy tank that we are taking out of the game right now. So... I wish our Artie was as observant as theirs. Most enemy tanks, rather than taking themselves completely out of the game and just sitting here, would just back up and stuff, right? We of course have the guy that's gonna literally take his entire tank out of the game. His OP tank, I like to add, the Caliban, and he's just going to sit here. My teammates are not really adjusting to it that well either. And we're also taking the GW out of the game because he continues to target me, right? So... Help. I'm gonna come this way. I can't quite get out of his like render circle, you know, the proxy area, which is unfortunate. But I wish these guys would just like help me here, like yeah, go around, you know, like do something, man. Like, thank God. Okay, good. Now we're in good shape again. Let's see if this Artie tries to take another shot into me. Make him a one-shot, and then I'd like to retreat and start trying to defend the base if we can eliminate this Iron Arnie. I'm amazed that I'm being spotted here. These things are so freaking ridiculous, man. I'm going to load the APCRs. I think we need to at this point, because we're going to start losing the base. But this game's pretty close, so I'm waiting for a close one. How are we getting lit here, though? Does this guy have, like, CVS or something? Okay, good. And now we can go back and start defending the base, I think. We got a little bit of spotting from it as well. Some assist. And GW Tiger was trying to focus us the whole game. Who knows? Maybe that led to us winning. Because he wasn't trying to target anyone else, so beautiful. Batchat's throwing his tank away too. Everyone's throwing their tanks away against the G-Sor. It's not a very smart idea. Good. Now we just have the guard. The guard's at the base, and the Scorpion. I'm going to go after the Scorpion. I'm going to load HE. There he is. Should have just kept our clip loaded. It's fine. He's going to hit me once. I should be able to take it, though. Good. Now I can swing around this guy. Bang. One shot. That's all it took. And these guys should be able to eliminate the guard, and that's the game. So I think that position, it didn't work too well this game, but that's because the Caliban took himself out of the game. And who knows, like this game was close enough where I would say it's very possible, right, that us making that play could have led to the victory. I don't think it did. I think we did very well to bring this game back. I wasn't really doing much at the end there. But you never know, man. I mean, this Caliban could have ripped people apart, right, if he got in the right spot. Like, the Caliban is a ridiculously OP tank, in my opinion. I've never played it, but I know it's very, very powerful from watching others play it. And, I mean, I think we played it okay, guys. 2k damage, 679 assist. And, I mean, overall, do the stats look good? No, but we won every single game. Every single game was a slaughter, right? And so, like, if we get into games where we're actually going to be on the losing side, or it's just a closer game like this one was, and we didn't even do that much, we still ended up with 2k damage, right? So I'm actually completely happy and fine with this score, even though it doesn't look great by stats, but we won every single game. So again, like, it just, matchmaking is a bitch, right? Like, it's very dependent. This game is very dependent, I should say. Your statistics are very dependent on matchmaking a lot of times, depending on the vehicle and how good of a player you are, how good you're able to adjust, right? Like, if I was a Unicum player, we probably would have done over 2k damage this session, and we would have had much more situational awareness, right? But it just wasn't really the reality here. We had a damage caused to received ratio of 3.18, which is also what's going to happen when you're winning every game, right? And you're just not taking a lot of damage. So after those 5 games, guys, 8349 WTR, 100% victory rate. We averaged 1748 damage. Again, 3.18 damage caused to received ratio. Our average assistance was 469. We didn't block anything, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I would like to try and 2-mark this thing, so we will play it more. and I'll catch you guys for the next video. Take care until then, and bye-bye now.